Okay, so first up, let's address the new opening and ending. I don't normally get that invested in opening and endings, but if I'm going to keep doing these, I think it's only fair to give my opinion on them. And as far as these ones go, fine. The opening to me is a little too, well, it's not too subtle, but I just sort of, from Yugioh, you sort of expect the high octane, the action adventure, especially going into this next arc. And, traditionally from these shonen action type series, you do expect the openings then to be very rock, very hardcore, but, they went slower with the last of the Zale openings, Wonder Wings, and that grew on me, so I'm sure this will too. As for the ending, songs, fine, all the pictures get weirder and weirder, but I have a feeling this is going to be one of those endings where as each new part of the plot gets revealed, they'll probably change pictures up, so all those weird pictures of all the Lancers doing shit didn't really have much of a reaction to me, because I just feel like those are just place filler for now. As for the episode itself, now I could go on some crazy lunatic rant, positive or negative, and just do that, or I could be a professional, give honest opinions, analysis, analyzing things, and giving you the most logical, unbiased opinion to tell you if this show is working. Fuck that shit! This episode was amazing! Oh my god, this is the best one ever. I mean, of Arc 5. This episode was just, from start to finish, beautiful. It looked beautiful. The emotions were perfect. Yuya was perfect. Reiji was perfect. Everything was perfect. The duel was amazing. Oh my god, this was great! First up, let's start from where we begin. Well, let's start off with just Reiji in general this episode. Reiji is scary. He's just this perfect genius who predicts everything. And so when he comes on and says, "You are my Lancers, I did this all to test you," and basically does what fucking Takudo needed a whole season just to get to, he just says, "No, I'm manipulating you. I'm using you. I'm using you as pawns to accomplish my goals." Right or wrong, that's what he's doing, and he treats them with enough respect to just flat out say that you are my Lancers and this is what I am after. And my first reaction is, this could either go one of two ways. It could go really good and have the emotions addressed, or everyone could just go along with it and we can go on the exposition machine. And it just makes the perfect decision, and that is how imperfect Yuya's reaction to all this is. Because the logical thing is, I should listen to this guy, I should hear what he has to say, and what I can do to either avenge my friend or save her or whatever's going through my head at the time. That's not what people would do in this situation. The comments on the episode on the site I was watching basically had some people were reacting like, "Oh, he's just being angry, he's not thinking straight." Of course that's what's going on! As far as he knows, his best friend, this girl who, kind of based on the way he talked in this episode, makes me think, well, maybe he probably had feelings for her. This girl who is so important to him in life, as far as he knows, has been just taken away from him and is no longer here. And obviously we know she's safe, or we don't know what's going to happen next with her, but as of right now, we know she is pretty much safe. But you just feel it all. And then he's crying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think a Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist has ever cried. Even with Yuma, if he did, it wouldn't have lasted long, or it wasn't shown like this. Showing him in tears, showing him breaking down like that, that's everything that we thought we were going to get with Yuya being done, and every mistake being rectified in one scene, showing this child going through this pain and suffering and still doing what he has to, taking that swing at Reiji. I didn't think that was going to happen like that. I thought it was just, "I'm challenging you to a card game." No, he let it all out on him. And then but with Reiji, he just knows this is happening. That smile on his face. Yuma is just a chess piece to him. Okay, I should say dual card in this situation, but that's what this is. Reiji is that unstoppable genius. He's the light Yagami. He's the Lelouch. He's, you all know where I'm going with this. He's the Ryu. God, it's so hard, but it's just, he's all these characters we see so much, and who are just, Satsuki from Kill la Kill, that's what I was thinking of. just all these characters, we see it so much these days, these unstoppable geniuses who just predict everything, get everything right, so you never really believe anything bad is going to happen because they just magically know all the answers, even when they are side characters. But not this time. Now, someone has finally addressed this. Finally, Yuya just says, you're wrong. What you are doing is not right. Using us as your pawns, using us as your tools, scouting us for this war. You manipulated us. You're controlling us. And it's cost my best friend her life, as far as I know. But it's just what needs to be done. And it is because it is so probably not the logical thing to do. You know, the logical thing is to just move on to the big baddie and accept it and maybe address it later, but normally it just gets forgotten. But here, no. What Reiji is doing is wrong, and Yuya addresses it, and he lets all his emotions out. I was 100% invested in this character. I felt for him. I almost thought I was going to tear for a second there, because you just followed him. And then we get into the duel, and yeah, you could make the argument it's Reiji just being the unstoppable type character. You know, you've seen this before. But it was just so good to watch because he's manipulating this kid. He's using him as a puppet. And you see the way he toys with Yuya's head and the way he messes with him and tortures him. And you just see Yuya getting madder and coming at him with so much force, and that is so perfectly represented in the duel itself. We had everything addressed with Sora. We had everything addressed with Serena. It all worked, and I was on board for it because the emotion and the action was there so perfectly. I mean, this episode was just so goddamn fucking perfect. I know I'm like a broken record, but there's just not much else to say. We have all our characters being used effectively here. We have our plot being used effective. No bad elements were addressed. Was there any humor in this episode? I don't think there was. It's so easy to just fill this crap up with shit humor nobody likes. But they just knew they had something amazing on their hands, and they had to let it go out, and I am just so glad they did. Also, it was nice seeing Rune Eyes again. I think Rune Eyes is a much better card than Beast Eyes, even though it's harder for Yuya to make it. So just seeing a card that I actually like and have tested out and have actually been able to win duels with is really nice. So that's kind of it, if you can call it that. I am just so happy with this episode. I'm so ready for next. What did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this episode, what you're hoping come next. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe, because I think I just pissed myself with amazement.